This week,
Warriors celebrate International Women's Day.
we interview one of the most loved faces on campus
We make underclassmen feel at home with the Connections crew.
and shoot for the stars with MCHS's astronomy teacher.
All of that and more on the Warrior Weekly. Good morning, Warriors, and welcome to this week's edition of the Warrior Weekly presented by Warrior Student Media. I'm Gina Greenwald.
And I'm Rihanna Med. Today we show our appreciation for our favorite staff members and have a one-on-one chat with Connections crew.
But first, let's celebrate International Women's Day. Happy International Women's Day, everybody!
The International Women's Day event was March 8th in the Upper Campus May Gym, hosted by the Activism Club and advisor Ms. Rockweiler.
Is actually Miss Rockweiler, our advisor. She loves to empower us, and she tells us all the time that we're going to be the ones to make the change. And I don't know, me being a person of color, I feel like that has a lot of impact on it too, and like the reason why we try so hard to make this such a big event this year.
It's really important for me to continue this tradition because I think it's a great event that empowers women. And we all know that confidence in girls begins to decline around the preteen, teen years. And it's really our goal to make sure that doesn't happen with our students, that we work at increasing their confidence, and we do it through events like this.
The guest speakers who shared their inspiring stories were Miss Adams, Miss Vandermine, Miss Bremer, and Miss Agnello.
It was really hard to narrow it down. So we just got a group of students together from the Activism Club, and we just kind of talked about, who would be the best speaker. And I think we just had some amazing speakers today. And every year we just kind of vary it up a little bit.
My favorite part is just hearing everybody's stories, because we all come from different backgrounds. We all have different things that we kind of connect to being a woman and everything.
This event is only so successful because of student participation. This event has grown into an inspiring event for everyone.
My favorite part of the event is all the students that come. A few years ago we started this, and it was just a handful of students at a flagpole before school. And to see that it's grown to be the event that it is really special.
This event not only spreads awareness and connects women together, but it unites the school as a whole.
I think it's important because it brings awareness to International Women's Day in general, and it just, I don't know, I feel like it makes everybody feel connected and just stronger together and empower equality as well.
As Women's History Month continues, we hope everyone continues to support and lift each other up. Reporting for the Warrior Weekly, we are Kat Calabrese, Cooper Bruin, and Dylan Machashik.
Now we know you've seen him around the halls. Let's take a deeper look into why Stanley is such a good security guard.
MCHS has many staff members that we love. Sometimes they don't get the recognition they deserve. One of them is Stan, a security guard who is loved and appreciated throughout campus. MCHS upper campus students are excited to express why they love Stan and how he has impacted their high school experience.
Yeah, I like Stan a lot. I like him because he's always been there for me since I was a freshman. Kind of helped me out through my 4 years here at McHenry. I think he just loves kids, and that's why, and he's always willing to talk to anyone, no matter who you are, what you look like, whatever you're asking him, he's always there to talk to you about it, so I think that might be why.
I love him because he actually cares about the students. I feel like most security guards try to be super intense, whereas Stan, he does his job, but he still asks kids what's wrong or has conversations with them in the hallway. I know he asked me about my prom dress and was asking me what it looks like and all that kind of stuff. He's a really sweet guy.
Even though Stan is a security guard, he explains how he loves interacting with all students and staff, getting to know them on a deeper and personal level.
But the typical day is just walking the halls, going to the parking lot, doing cards, and just interacting with students and staff. Being able to, be myself, kind of. I let my guards down, kind of. And not be all, just I'm a security guard, and just being human and talking and getting along with the kids. And they confide in me, so that makes me feel, like they trust in me. So.
Not only is Stan a popular security guard among the students, but he is also loved well throughout all of the MCHS faculty.
What can you say about Stanley, Stan the man? He is honestly, he's a culture builder for us. He's somebody all the students look to. He knows the students better than I think they know themselves sometimes, and I can't even tell you how almost impossible my job would be without him.
Throughout the rest of Stan's time here, we hope to see how engaged and positive he continues to be all throughout MCHS. Next time you see Stan, make sure you give him a shout out and thank him for the wonderful work he has done.
Oh, I love Stan. I love Stan. He's my favorite. I love you, Stan.
Stanley, I love you.
I love Stan. I love Stan.
I love Stan.
We love Stan.
I love Stan. I love Stan.
I love Stan.
I love you, Stan.
Reporting for the Warrior Weekly were Emberlyn Carlson, Grace Mueller, Lacey Thompson, and Lauren Curtin.
Now, without the freshmen at the upper campus, the juniors and seniors have taken it upon themselves to make the sophomores feel more welcome.
We sat down with the leaders of the Connections crew to see what they're all about.
Sitting down to discuss MCH's Connection Crew, Mr. Curtis Mankey and Mrs. Caitlin Shack explain how beneficial connections between lower and upperclassmen are, as well as being connected to the school's overall environment.
Sophomore year is kind of a weird year in general. It's like you're not freshmen anymore, and it's a little unique in our district now that you're kind of, again, as you said, kind of the low man on the totem pole. But like, if you think about it over all 4 years, like you're not new anymore. You've been through high school. Junior year is just so packed with stuff, and senior year. So sophomore year, there's kind of like an identity crisis that happens sophomore year.
As counselors, we always called it the black hole. Like, there's just nothing's happening.
What is sophomore year?
Right.
It's just like this year of nothing. And a lot of times, like you and I have been doing this as counselors long enough, sophomore year is kind of like an inflection point.
Yes.
Like that's where like people kind of like start ramping things up or tailing off. Like that's where we lose people sometimes. So what else can we do to be proactive and help sophomores find that identity and find their purpose?
For sure.
We need people who can connect. That's why we call it Connections Crew.
Absolutely.
We need people who can connect.
Yeah.
And sometimes it takes quieter leaders. It takes people who can open their ears as opposed to their mouths sometimes to be the best leaders.
For sure.
Being a leader is all about building relationships with those you lead. As Rayon Ahmed explains why he chose to be a leader.
I am a Connections Crew leader because I enjoy leading. I enjoy being a part of a student's life. I like to try and help them in any way, shape or form. That genuine care is something that I think of when I am trying to lead them and I'm trying to teach them in any way, shape, or form. I think it increases my ability to talk with people because students, right, whether they're younger or older of any sort, I think that those type of people are the same type of people and same type of personalities that adults have now. So I think that if you're really able to talk and communicate and really get someplace with, students at a younger age, I think that we are able to allow me and all the other students that are doing Connections Crew to actually speak and communicate with everybody else in the future.
The Connection Crew takes a year to help the sophomores get comfortable at upper campus, while they also look forward to recruiting more leaders to help lead the incoming class for next school year.
I think reaching out to either of us would be a great place to start. We are going to send out a survey, correct, for interested members. Anybody who will be a junior or senior next year can fill out the survey, and then we would be in contact with follow-up steps for that.
The Connection Crew works hard to help incoming classes put themselves out there and find their interests. If you're interested in becoming an upcoming leader, watch your email for a survey in the coming weeks. Reporting for the Warrior Weekly were Maddie Spencer, Danny Carr, Ruth Luceno, and Noah Johnson.
Finally, if you know him, you probably love him. Let's formally introduce the school's Wisconsin Loving Astronomy and Earth Science teacher.
At MCHS, students show admiration to teachers who have proven how good of a teacher and a friend they can be. With new arrivals, it can be a daunting task just to settle into their school. But with this teacher, it has been smooth sailing. With Mr. Zernt being so young, it has given him a chance to bond with students and teachers alike. And here's his take on how his arrival to the school was.
I graduated high school. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to do something involving science, but that was about as far through as I thought it. So I went to LG Community College for a couple of years, and while I was there, I ended up in a lot of study groups where I worked with other students, basically teaching them almost. I realized that I like being in front of people and I like public speaking. So those two things made me realize that I wanted to teach. I got hired in December of last year, and when I got hired, I taught chemistry and forensic science. Semester ended, they were swapping stuff around with East and West, and as the newest teacher, I was kind of just given the leftovers, which ended up being astronomy and earth science. But I enjoy most just getting to spend time with students. I think it helps me to feel like I'm staying young.
One of the most noticeable things to say about Mr. Zern is his age, leading him to have the same humor and personality of people our generation. With his understanding of young students, what is his president to set in a learning environment for us?
I want students to gain an appreciation for science. A lot of the science classes are very rigorous, like just a lot to learn in a really short period of time. My goal as a teacher for something like astronomy or even earth science is to show students that science is fun and that learning is fun. I have sort of a laid-back approach to the way that I teach, and I try to bring that every day into the classroom. And it's not to say that we don't learn a lot, because we do, but I just want students to learn that like science is actually enjoyable and it's fun, and I would say that's like one of my big things.
It has been evident that learning in peak COVID conditions was an absolute nightmare. But for Mr. Zern, it is even more difficult for establishing himself and his whole career in the worst moments. To find his footing, older staff have welcomed him with open arms.
I'm still somewhat of a new teacher, so there are some teachers that I still don't know yet, especially because I came in during the pandemic, so everyone was very separated. I feel like this year especially, though, I have gotten to know all the other teachers a lot better, and specifically the science department I think here is fantastic. My mentor, Miss LaShawn, has helped me out a lot, and then Mr. Beagle, who's the head of the department, is also like a go-to guy for me, but they make me feel really welcome. Anytime I have a question, I know that I can go to them, and they're not going to make me feel dumb for not knowing the answer. They're like, hey, you want to get better, we want to help you get better, and so those things, like, definitely for me as a young teacher are really important. So I think the teaching environment here is fantastic.
We hope to find him on the right track to success in all future endeavors. Reporting for the Warrior Weekly, we're Nate Gibson, Caden Bunting, and Ryan Stamborski.
That's all for today's show. Be sure to follow the Warrior Weekly on all social media platforms, including Twitter, Insta, and TikTok.
On behalf of Brianna Med and all the Warrior student media, I'm Gina Greenwald.
Have a great week, Warriors.